When I look back over the years, I never expected life would lead me to where I am now, with a much stronger, healthier, and deeper bond with my son than I ever imagined possible. I'm Sarah Mitchell, a high school English teacher living in a quiet suburb of Portland, Oregon. Life hasn't always been easy, and neither has parenting. But something shifted over the past year. Something beautiful, unexpected, and meaningful. This is our story, not of perfection, but of transformation. My son, Ethan, is 17 now. Tall, quick-witted, and thoughtful in ways that surprise me daily. But if you asked me 2 years ago to describe our relationship, I might have sighed before responding. We were distant. Not in a dramatic way. There were no huge fights, no screaming matches or slammed doors. But it was the kind of emotional distance that creeps in quietly. As Ethan grew older, he became more private. Conversations were shorter. He'd come home from school, say a few words, then head upstairs. I told myself it was normal teenage behavior, and maybe it was. Still, a part of me missed the little boy who used to run to me after school, full of stories. The shift began after my divorce from his father, Mark. Mark and I had grown apart over the years, and when we finally separated, Ethan chose to live with me. It wasn't a bitter decision, just a quiet mutual understanding that it would be best for everyone. At first, Ethan seemed distant, even more than before. I worried about how the separation might be affecting him. I offered to set up therapy, tried asking questions, but he'd often shrug or offer a vague, "I'm fine, Mom." It was one rainy Thursday afternoon when something changed. I had come home late from a parent-teacher conference, tired and mentally drained. As I pushed the front door open, I was hit by the warm scent of garlic and herbs. Ethan was in the kitchen, apron on, brow furrowed as he stirred something on the stove. "Hey," he said casually. "Thought I'd make dinner." That was new. Very new. He had made a simple spaghetti with garlic bread and salad, but to me, it tasted better than anything I'd had in months. We sat down at the small dining table, just the two of us. We ate. We laughed. And most importantly, we talked. Really talked. I learned about his English project, his interest in graphic design, and how he was worried about college applications. That night became a turning point. After that, little things began to change. On weekends, we'd cook together. We started a tradition of Friday night movie marathons, sometimes old black and white classics I loved, other times his favorite superhero flicks. I learned to listen more, really listen, even when the topics didn't interest me. I realized that for so long, I had been parenting from a distance, present, but not always connected. Ethan opened up about his worries, his social circle, and even the pressure he felt to be strong for me after the divorce. I was shocked. I hadn't realized he carried that weight. I assured him that he didn't have to be the man of the house, that it was okay to just be a kid. His eyes welled up a little, and he gave a small nod. That moment stayed with me. One afternoon, I came home to find him painting a mural in his room. I was hesitant at first, thinking of the mess. But the artwork was stunning. Swirls of color, abstract landscapes, and small words etched into corners. "It helps me breathe," he said quietly. So, I let him keep it. We even bought more supplies the next weekend and painted the guest room together. That creative space brought out a side of Ethan I had never seen before. Expressive, confident, and peaceful. We also started running together in the mornings. Not every day, but often enough that it became a routine. Some days, we'd run in silence, others we'd race each other or talk about random things. Music, school, even philosophy. It was during one of those runs that he told me he wanted to pursue a career in architecture. I hadn't seen that coming. But when he explained how he loved shapes, lines, space, and form, it all made sense. I was proud, not just because he had a goal, but because he trusted me enough to share it. One of the most meaningful experiences came during the holidays. That year, we decided to skip the usual big family gathering. Instead, we stayed home, just the two of us. We decorated the tree, cooked our favorite meals, and took a road trip to the Oregon coast. On Christmas morning, Ethan handed me a small envelope. Inside was a handwritten letter. It read, "Mom, I know I don't always say it, but thank you for being there, even when I was closed off. For listening, for letting me grow, and for giving me space without disappearing. I feel lucky. You're not just my mom, you're my best friend." I cried. Of course I did. That letter was a gift more precious than anything money could buy. That spring, Ethan began tutoring younger students at a local community center. He asked if I'd help him prepare lesson plans. Sitting at the dining table, side by side, going over math problems and writing prompts, those were the moments I cherished most. It wasn't just about the work, it was about being a team. He even started opening up about his father. About how he sometimes missed the old days but didn't know how to say it. I didn't push. I simply listened. I told him it was okay to love us both, to miss things, and to move forward at his own pace. I think that gave him peace. One day, I came home and found a sketch on the fridge. It was a drawing of our house, Ethan's version of it, with notes and imagined renovations in the margins. "Just practicing," he said with a shy grin. I framed it. That sketch still hangs in the hallway. We also started volunteering together. Weekends at the animal shelter, helping at the library's book fair, and even joining a local park cleanup. It wasn't always glamorous, but working side by side gave us time to connect. It also helped Ethan grow more confident and compassionate. There were still occasional arguments, as with any family. But something had changed at the core. We were no longer navigating life as two people under the same roof. We were a team. We respected each other. We listened. And we showed up. The closer we grew, the more I realized how much I had grown too. Parenting had taught me resilience, but this new phase taught me presence. Real presence. Being there not just physically, but emotionally. Not solving everything, but standing beside him while he figured it out. As summer approached, Ethan began preparing for his college applications. I helped edit his essays, attended virtual tours with him, and even took a weekend trip to visit campuses. On the drive back from one university, he looked out the window and said, "I think I'm going to miss this. Us." It hit me then. He was preparing to fly, and I would have to let go. But not entirely. Because the bond we built was strong enough to stretch across distance. I smiled and said, "Me too. But we'll always have this." The day he got accepted to his top choice college, we danced in the living room like goofballs. It was one of the happiest days of my life. Now, as I prepare to help him pack and move into his dorm in just a few weeks, I reflect on how much has changed. Our relationship was once polite, quiet, and surface level. Now it's deep, honest, and full of mutual respect. It wasn't a single moment that brought us closer. It was the little things. The quiet dinners. The shared walks. The unfiltered conversations. The acts of trust.